Hello, I am so glad that we finally made it here. I'm sorry about the little technical difficulties. So let me introduce myself. Thank you so much for coming in today. This is our new College Clinic Live series. My name is Priska Diaz, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bitty Lab. Just a little bit about my story. I had a baby a long time ago, about 10 years ago, and I wanted to breastfeed. I didn't have enough breast milk. I had to supplement because my baby was dehydrated, losing weight. And as soon as I introduced baby bottles, my baby developed a problem that it turns out is very, very common, which is gas, colic, spit ups, all together called gastroesophageal reflux, or it can turn into a gastroesophageal reflux disease when the symptoms occur over an extended period of time. So because I wanted to help my baby so bad and there was absolutely nothing out there that helped, went to doctors, changed bottles, changed formula, changed everything. My baby just cried for 8 months in a row and I didn't know what to do. I decided to do a lot of research. I started studying what is the reason why my baby's having so much problems. And I learned that actually the baby bottles introduced air into the container, and the air swallowing was the one thing that was getting my baby very, very sick. Even when I breastfed, and then the next feeding I used a bottle with my own breast milk, the baby will have two different experiences. While I was breastfeeding, he was fine. And then when I introduced the bottle, even with my own breast milk, there was a problem. So it was clearly the device which the baby was receiving the milk from that was giving him the problem. So based on that, I wanted to get something that didn't accumulate air inside and that didn't feed my baby air. And of course, there was nothing. So I'm a designer by trade. So I decided to just design my own device and to try to help my baby. And so, unfortunately, it took several years. So my baby, when the product was kind of ready, my baby wasn't a baby anymore. For my second baby, I didn't have a problem breastfeeding. I had plenty of milk, so none of those issues happened. However, I did research that the problem is very, very common. According to the NIH, 66% of the babies have this painful symptoms from gastroesophageal reflux. And the other third are those babies that are called gassy and fuzzy, which sometimes have the symptoms and sometimes they don't. But ultimately, all babies are going to go through the regurgitation period and they're going to go to a gas period. And so we are going to help you, the new parents, minimize that problem. I have a baby here. This is my prop baby. And I just want to show you some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years onto how to help the baby minimize the symptoms. Definitely breast milk is much, much better than formula. It's healthier for the baby and it has everything, all the nutrients that it needs, and it usually does not cause any problems. There are a few occasions that your baby may develop some sort of allergy to a component or something that you're eating doesn't sit well with your baby. The pediatric guidelines up there have a lot of information on lifestyle changes to help this kind of issues. For example, cutting down on eggs, cutting down on milk, dairy products, definitely alcohol, not smoking around the baby, cutting down on coffee. All those things will help your breast milk to be a lot more easier to digest for the baby. And one of the other things that it's really sort of under the radar today, even though there has been a lot more education lately about the upright feeding, we found that upright feeding is really, really amazing. With the proper solutions. That is, if you're breastfeeding, sit your baby upright, it will do wonders. And I want to quickly show you how to support the baby's head the proper way so you can do so. There are a lot of videos out there that you can search. They're called the the kangaroo hold or the Australian hold. I think that some call them the koala. I'm not sure, but definitely that is where the baby is in vertical upright position. And you can sit, I don't have a chair right now, but you can sit comfortably. And what you want to do is hold the baby's head right behind the ear in this area. You do not want to hold them here because it's going to be very painful for the baby. Just like if you press in here, it hurts you. It's the same thing. So you want to hold them right here on this bone. We have a bone right here. You can touch it yourself on one side. And on the other side as well, you want to hold it in the same location with your thumb. So this way you're able to maneuver the head whichever way you need to when you're trying to breastfeed. So you're sitting on a couch comfortably. You want to hold the baby facing you like this, and you want to support the head on one side. He's sitting on your lap, sort of like this, and you put, his legs around your belly, and you're trying to just breastfeeding. Now, latching is quite an art. Again, there are many videos out there that teach you how to properly latch, how to get the baby to latch on the areola part of the breast, not necessarily on the nipple part. It's very painful for the mom if the baby does that. Also, if you're still pregnant and you have a hospital, where you're going to deliver, find out if they have available lactation consultants. They usually do. And the other thing is, we on the website have a lot of resources on breastfeeding, and we have a search tool where you can search a nearby lactation consultant geographically of where you are located. So that should help a lot. We also have a lot of breastfeeding resources online. If you go to bidylab.com, hopefully you're watching this on our website. So just go on the benefits side of it and then scroll down. You're going to see breastfeeding. Click on there. There are several other pages in the sub-menus that list a lot of these resources or free resources for you. We're also available for breastfeeding support. If you have any questions at all, you can always call the customer support line and let us know what is your issue. We try to help you as much as we can, or we can give you referrals to some of the great people that we usually work with that can help you with the proper latch so your baby doesn't swallow any air while you breastfeed. Babies or if you're using a nipple shield, that causes a little bit of a problem. Usually babies do tend to get a lot of air with a nipple shield. So we're going to go over that a little later and with some solutions on how to help weaning the baby off the nipple shield as well. Now, if your baby's having the symptoms, whether it's gas, colic, spitting up, he's growling, you know that the baby's annoyed. I'm a believer of there isn't such a thing of a happy spitter. There is another thing that, the baby just cried just because. A happy baby doesn't cry. Babies don't cry because they're happy, okay? Babies cry because they're uncomfortable, because they're hungry, because they're in pain. Something is bothering them. So you want to address all of those issues going down the list. You want to feed them correctly. You want to change their diaper. You want to make sure they're not uncomfortable. And if you've done all those things and the baby continues to cry, he's in pain. Some of the cues that a baby with gastric issues will do is they will bring their knees up to their stomach into crunching like this, or they will arch their back. That's a very typical move for babies who are having stomach issues, whether it's gas pain, gastroesophageal reflux. Gastroesophageal reflux, by the way, is when the acids or the contents in the stomach come back into the esophagus and they don't have control of it. Sometimes they spit up. Sometimes it comes up to the esophagus and then comes right back down. If the regurgitation contains acid, every time that it goes up and down, it literally burns their insides. Just like adults have heartburn, it's exactly the same thing, and it's very, very painful. So please, please, please help your baby. You can do things at home. Always check with your doctor. Make sure that there isn't any other underlying conditions. You want to mention it to your doctor. Every single thing that happens with the baby. If you catch a pattern, when is this crying happening? Is it in the middle of the night? What is the problem? Again, while I was going through that issue, the doctors didn't really have much of a solution. They did offer a lot of available stuff, but nothing really helped. So, we were all really hoping that the baby just eventually outgrows it. And sure enough, it took 8 to 10 months for him to settle down. But in the meantime, it wasn't enjoyable. It was horrible. So it was a necessary pain for me as well as the baby, because as I said, we have over the years, I've learned that there are things that we can do. So going back to breastfeeding. So if you're breastfeeding and your baby's still having an issue, what you're going to do, you want to look into doing some changes to your diet to make sure that whatever you're eating is not bothering your baby. You also want to sit your baby upright. That's the one thing that cannot hurt your baby, and there's no reason why not to do it. You should always sit your baby upright and feed them while in upright position. You do want to make sure that the chin doesn't touch the chest, because that will prevent the baby from feeding. So this is the reason why you want to hold the head in the proper way. And we have, if you go to our blog, bidilab.com/blog, you're going to see a lot of blogs written up by our nurse, Wilkes. She gives a lot of great tips and tools on how to support the baby's head the proper way when you're feeding in upright position. She also has a lot of tips for acid reflux mitigation. So please do check that out. In the event that you cannot breastfeed or don't want to breastfeed, or like in my case, I just didn't have enough breast milk, so I had to introduce bottles. I will suggest, if you don't know, if you're not sure, there are only 3 kinds of bottles out there, and essentially there is the vented solution, which are most typical baby bottles that have an air vent, and the only reason for the air vent is to introduce air inside the bottle. So you know that the baby's going to swallow a lot of air. Most babies will have an issue with that, but not all the babies. The other kind of bottles have the plastic bag that you can change. It's a disposable bag. There are many brands. They all work the same way. You can just try one brand and you know that you've tried them all. And then the other solution is a bear, which we don't really consider a bottle because it's not a bottle. It's essentially a cylinder, and it works like a syringe. If you're a breastfeeding mom, you have definitely heard about syringe feeding. You can relate to what that is. This product essentially works like a syringe. You want to hold the earplug in the flat surface, put the cylinder over, you put everything into the foot, and then you want to essentially fill it with water or milk or formula, anything you're feeding the baby with at the time. And you want to make sure that we have explicit instructions on how to do this. You want to make sure there aren't any gaps. You want to make sure everything is put correctly. You close it down, and now you see this much air and this much milk, in this case water. Excuse me. And what you want to do is essentially push this air plug right here to get rid of all the extra air. So you want to do it with your thumb. That's the easiest way. You just push nice and straight, firmly in one direction. You do not want to tip the air plug. You do not want to turn bear upside down to do this. Just follow instructions. It's very simple. If you tip the air plug, obviously that is the only thing that is holding the liquid. You are going to have a spill at the bottom. So make sure this goes straight. It's not difficult. I just did it right before in front of you. Now you want to make sure that it's definitely put together correctly. And the way to test that is you want to turn it a little bit like this. If you don't see any dripping like now, then it's perfect. What you want to do is, again, feed the baby in 100% upright position. And you're going to hold the baby in the same way, your thumb on one side, your fingers on the other side of this bone right here. And you want to hold the baby sitting upright with face tipped down a little bit, just like you and I drink coffee, face down, right? We don't drink coffee like this, face down. And you want to hold there. You want to hold there. And you don't want to tip bear in any way. for any reason. You want to hold it like this and just feed the baby in upright position. This is the perfect way to hold bear. You do not want to do this. You do not want to do that, please. Upright position is upright like this with bear right side up. I know that it could be challenging sometimes. I talk to customers. They say, I'm holding my baby upright. I'm feeding with bear upright. And when I ask for a quick picture or a quick description, what they're doing is this. This is not upright. This is reclined. And bear is going tipping upside down, which is not what we recommend. You want to hold the baby. Again, you want to hold the head so you can maneuver the face whichever way you want. You're sitting down. The baby is on your lap. You want to hold bear right side up and let the baby create the suction to feed. Babies feed with suction, just like breastfeeding. If they create suction, they get milk. If they don't create suction, they don't get food. So that allows them, the feeding against gravity allows them to actually control the flow and pace as they wish, as they can, so that they don't take more than they need. They don't ever, there's never choking, because if you're in this position and there's no possible way for you to swallow so much more than you can take. And in the rare alien event that it happens, all the baby's going to do is open his mouth and let the milk drip down. Baby is not, unless you're feeding the baby like this, then there's a good possibility that you'll choke your baby. So make sure baby is face down like this. Chin is not touching the chest. Again, we have a lot of blogs that describe this position. We also have some cool graphics on the FAQ page or how to use page. Please check it out before you utilize bear. And this is the proper way to feed. So this way you're keeping the baby 100% in vertical position. And this is the position that is going to save you a lot of problems. The gravity keeps the acids and the food in the belly. So there's much less chances of any regurgitation or gas or colic or anything like that. After you feed the baby, hold the baby over your shoulder while you're tapping lightly and try to create some burps to come out. Do not do this. Do not do this. Just keep them as still as you can. And again, the torso should be in vertical upright position. You want to hold them like this. Try not to lay them down. Laying down encourages regurgitation, encourages the food that's in the belly going back into the esophagus. You don't want to do that. Upright position is the best that you can do for your baby. So great. If you guys have any questions, I don't know. I can't see any of your comments. I don't see any of the questions, but I will address them as soon as we are done with this live video. So please stick around. And I wanted to also give you guys a code that we are running a little sale. Thank you for watching this video. The code is for you to get 20% off on bidilab.com/shop. So if you're on bidilab.com, all you have to do is go to the menu. If you're on the phone, on top of it, there's a little house type of thing. That's our shop. Enter the code, fall 2020, and that should give you 20% off on everything that you purchase today. And also, we want you to, if you can comment down here to make sure, I think you're going to be able to see the comments, or I will definitely see them, so that we can run the giveaway. It will be great. It will run through today through 6 p.m. So if you guys can comment, let me know what you think about this. If you have any specific questions, if there are any other topics that your guys are having issues with, I'll be happy to address it next time. This happens every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see you again next week. Thank you so much for coming. Again, my name is Prisca Diaz. I'm the founder and CEO of Bidilab. Send me an email whenever you want, info@bidilab.com. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Have a wonderful day.